right, man. First and foremost, I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakwakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who rule and teach well unto the other Akim. Mighty pushing this truth into the four winds. Keep pushing Akim. We almost out of here, man. It's another week. It's another time to come out and prophesy. It's another time to come out and basically just do what we were commanded to do, man. Follow that example that Yahweh Shai was. And on top of that, the things that happened prior to us coming here, you know, the things that happened throughout the week, we funneled it through the scriptures. And it's something that's going on now that has been going on since 2025 started on some type of stuff. A lot of truth, a lot of leaked documents, a lot of declassified documents. When I pulled up the camp just now, I looked at my phone and it said the Epstein list, the full Epstein list has been released. And I was like, man, I wanted to press it, but I got more important things to do. Now, as a watchman, I could have pressed it, but I wanted to take care of the business first, you know? But saying that to say this, everything that happens, it's a scripture that foretold these things to happen. We're happy. We're crump that these things are happening on our watch, right? But it's in the scriptures, and it was foretold before we started teaching and before our mothers and fathers laid eyes on one another. I'm going to open up with Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So we're going to know the truth about everything before the Lord makes his miraculous return. Okay? And he puts us back in our position of power. And he puts the so-called white man back in his position of servitude, the way that it's supposed to be. Okay? Theresoever, this is a warning, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. And that which ye have spoken in the ear, in the closet, shall be proclaimed amongst the housetops. Now I'm going to focus this on the body, because that's who the Lord came to talk to. He came, well, first off, he came to talk to Yasharala, and on top of that, he came to talk to the body. Okay? Don't be like the Pharisees. The Pharisees had the truth, right? And they had an understanding of everything in the Bible. But they were living like niggas and teaching like prophets. I got a scripture for you real quick. I don't know the scripture off the top of my head. I'm looking it up real quick. All right, let me look. All right, hold on. The scripture I was looking for, I can't find it, bro. But it was basically saying, do what the Pharisees say, but don't do as they do. And I have to look for it again. I have to look for it. I'm not in no hurry. Fuck all that. I'm out to look for it, okay? I got it. This is Matthew 23 from the top. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples. So this is the Lord speaking to the multitude, which is the people, and he's also speaking to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Now Moses was the lawgiver. He was the one that basically broke the Bible down and told the people, you know what I mean? This what that means and that what that means. They're sitting in the seat of the teacher. They're sitting in the seat of a prophet. They're sitting in the seat of authority. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe. Now the scripture said, all there whatsoever they bid you observe. So it's telling you the things that's coming out of their mouth. Listen to it. Okay? That observe and do. So the things that they're teaching, Yahushua himself is telling you to follow it. Do it. Because these lawyers are on point when it comes to the scriptures. It's a butt though, and it's a big butt. Bigger than Eve's butt. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So it says, follow their words, which is the scripture, but follow not their ways. Okay? When you read the Bible, you have to have a clear understanding of it. No different than when you go to college and you have a minor and a major, or you have a major. You have to have your discipline in it, and the Bible is the same way. The scribes and the Pharisees were off as hell, but the message that they were teaching was clean and pure. Am I taking up for them? No. What I'm telling you is just because you have this scripture, just because you have this knowledge, just because you have the understanding of it, it doesn't make you a prophet, man. You have people that come out here and teach once a week, hell, 3 times a week, and put out a video every day. But they're in the spirit of a Pharisee. They're going to tell you to do things that they partake in on a daily basis. It's part of their lifestyle. Don't smoke cigarettes. It's off. It kills you. As soon as the camera go off, 10 minutes later, they smoking cigarettes, man. That's a scribe and a Pharisee. You understand the scriptures, you know the scriptures, but you don't live the scriptures. You come out and teach the scriptures, and if somebody follows you, they're following the truth, but you ain't right. And if they so-called happen to follow you, they end up going to get separated from you because you're not right ultimately, man. You don't want to be a scribe, you don't want to be a Pharisee. You want to be a prophet, man. You want to be a prophet. And the true prophets were scribes. I'm not going to say it was Pharisees, okay? But a few of the prophets were scribes for other prophets, man. Okay? But this knowledge is something that has to be earned. And when you earn it, you got to hold on to it and never let it go, man. Let's get some more precepts. And any Jake can learn the scriptures. But it only takes it's a certain type of Jake that follows the scriptures. You got certain Jakes, bro, that they just don't get the scriptures. They just don't, it doesn't really retain. But they solid brothers. They got the basics. And then you got other guys that know the scriptures at the back of their hand, precept extraordinaires. I'm talking about pull it out of their, yeah. But they living like niggas, man, behind closed doors. Let's get a precept, though. This is Matthew 10 and 9, man. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and I ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Now this is the book of Revelation, and it was written by John the Revelator when he was exiled to the island of Patmos. And he's basically telling you, if you want to be one of the guys, be one of that number, you have to eat the roll. You have to be taught the scriptures by another man, all right? If it's not Great Millstone or a Great Millstone affiliate, you're moonwalking. And even then, it's going to be a certain process that happens. And you have to remain faithful and true, man. And now when the scripture is talking about it's going to be sweet in your mouth and bitter in your belly, it's talking about the different prophecies. It's talking about basically the introduction of who you are and things of that nature. It's sweet in your mouth when you learn that you're better than the other nations, and that black people are not what the world calls us, you know, and designates us to be. And we have potential for salvation and things of that number. But it gets bitter in your belly when you understand the persecutions, the prosecutions, when you understand just all the crosses that you have to carry. When you come into this truth, you're coming here to be redeemed. You're coming here to rejoin something that you were once a part of, or potentially had the ability to be a part of, but you went off. And you went and did nigga shit. And now you have to show and prove yourself to be allowed to be back in. When a boss fires an employee, he has no ideas and thoughts to hire him back, because he has had a bad experience with this guy, and I've given you a chance. The Lord is different. He's not a fool, but he's different. He'll give you a chance to come back. And that's why reincarnation is so important. And before I go into another scripture, I'm going to have to deal with reincarnation in this book that I just read, Revelation 10, and I'm going to read it again, but we're going to deal with it on another level. 10 and 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. We spoke about that. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and I ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. As soon as I had eaten it, it was in my belly bitter. And some of the bitter things that happen in your belly is when you learn about the things that's going to happen to the saints. Okay? You're potentially going to be beheaded. You're potentially going to lose your whole family. Your whole family is going to potentially turn against you. You're going to potentially go through everything that you could possibly think of. But don't let that bitterness outweigh that sweetness. That sweetness tells you. Let's pull it up in Corinthians 10 and 13. Let's pull it up real quick. First Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So anything that you go through, anything that's thrown at you, if you are faithful and you have the scripture and you have this truth in you, and you like F the world and everything in it, the Lord gonna make a way out. So for every maze that he allows you to go into, is multiple exits. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they're there. And you are going to come out of them, because the scriptures say what they say about the hopeful elect. They went through this, and they went through that, and they remained faithful unto the end. And that's what salvation is. That's what being saved is. Nobody is saved right now. Salvation has not been given to anyone yet. Now, the brothers that sleep, that's different. But everybody that has air in their lungs here right now, we operate on faith. And if you come tell us that salvation is not for us, we're going to come against you as if you're telling us 1 + 1 = 3, because our faith lets us know, and it fuels us to have us to come out here and teach in the name of salvation. Okay? But we don't have it. You got brothers out here that was in that same spirit, and a week later, they bailed out, and they went back to the world. Okay? So the scriptures say, he will make a way out for the trials and the tribulations that you have to go through to mold you and to form you into who you need to ultimately be. Like if you watch things like I used to watch when I was younger, man, like Dragon Ball Z and these different fighting things, he's turning you into your final form. He's challenging you and putting you into trials that makes you metamorph into your final form. Let me tell you somebody that metamorphed. Matter of fact, we're going to do it through the scriptures. Watch this. And if he can metamorph, how much more you and me? This is Genesis 3 from the top. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, hath Yahweh said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden. Now in Genesis, the so-called white man is called a serpent. It's called the serpent. Now thousands of years and a lot of experiences have, and a lot of reincarnations have occurred in between Genesis and Revelation. It doesn't call him a serpent in Genesis. Let's see what it calls him in, Salakia. It calls him a serpent in Genesis. Let's see what it calls him in Revelation. This is Revelation 12 and 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. So this simple serpent metamorphed and grew in wickedness into a dragon with multiple heads and multiple horns, which goes into multiple different, topics and whatnot. So if he metamorphs from Genesis to Revelation, how much more us? Because we were here too, battling this same devil. Well, how do you know that the dragon is the one that they talking about? Let's get it in the scriptures. This is Revelation 12 and 9. Or should I start at 8? I'm going to go to 9. You know what? I'm not. Let's go to verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Now this is talking about Revelation. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Remember? I said that dragon started off as a serpent. And he metamorphed into a dragon. And how we have to metamorph into something bigger and better than what we were yesterday or yesteryear. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found in more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So it's telling you that this dragon is that same serpent from the beginning. And when you're in a position, the time and space position of Revelation, you're going to call Genesis old. So he's saying an old dragon. And you have to also understand it in the time and the space of Revelation, he was actually looking into the future, into the times of right now. So we have to stand up. We got to represent. We got to do better than we did last year. Hell, last week, man. And we have to metamorph into something bigger and better, like the Transformers. And sometimes it's hard to do alone. Sometimes you got to be like the Transformers. One brother the leg, one brother the arm, and it goes on, man. Okay? We have to be stronger than our opposition. Our opposition is not a serpent anymore. He's a dragon. So what are you? Huh? Let's get some scriptures, man. This is Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So this is how you start off. You start off with the basics. Your transformation and your metamorphosis starts with the basics, the laws. Okay? And the laws should put fear into you so you don't have to be subject to the penalties. Let's get that real quick and we're going to come right back. Revelation 18. And 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. Okay? Now let's go back. So you separate yourself mentally and spiritually so that when this place gets judged, you're not a part of it. A believer is not supposed to vote, not supposed to celebrate these holidays, and not supposed to have a vested interest in nothing concerning this place because it's not yours. I don't have a vested interest in a stranger's house across town. Whatever they're doing over there has nothing to do with me, and I don't care. So I'm not going to complain about it unless it directly affects me. If I don't smell shit coming out of their yard, if flames not coming out of their house spreading the mind, things of that nature, ain't got nothing to do with me. Just waiting on the Lord. Okay? This is Ecclesiastes 7:12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So the scriptures is going to be the things that turn you from a junior to a senior, from a minor to a major, from a hopeful elect to the actual elect. It's going to be wisdom. Okay? And it's going to be things that you go through that's going to produce wisdom. The Lord is going to give you tailor-made situations and hardships in your life that you go through that's going to produce wisdom, that's going to produce a confidence in the things that you say and speak when certain people come up and question you, because you've walked through them, you've lived them, and you've witnessed them. You have experience. And you have the scriptures before you had the experience. And now they could come together like peanut butter and jelly. Okay? Let's get some more scriptures, man. And look, we started off going into how everything is basically going to be exposed for what it is. So the people are going to have to come to the conclusion that they've been lied to. Over here in America, they tell us that we're all the same. They tell us that the black man is no different than the white man. The white man is no different than the Mexican man. But it's insanity. Different people have different traits. It's no different than a dog. All dogs are dogs. But a Rottweiler is different than a poodle. A poodle is different than a German Shepherd. They have their traits and they have their certain attributes. And let's get a scripture for that real quick. Ecclesiasticus 33:11. I'm going to start at 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Now the Bible said that the Lord has made our ways diverse, but we all came from a common ancestor. But the white man and the government tells us that we're all the same. Who should I believe? Let's go to the scriptures and we'll answer that question with the scriptures. We're going to go to Acts 5:30. Or maybe it's 5:29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man. So the scriptures tell us that it is a difference. You're not the same. The white man and the government tells us, well, we're all the same. When the lights go out, we're all black. When we get cut, we all bleed red. Hell, a fucking snake bleeds red. A light can go dim, but we're different. Look at our cuisines. Look at hey man, you can't get around it. I don't have to just break it down, and just go to these different things because I just read you the scripture. I just read you the scripture. I'm gonna read it to you again. What is it doing? Check this. My stuff not working, bro. Maybe I gotta back out of it. All right, let's try now. There we go. Now, what was I about to look up? See where I left off at. That'll tell me what I was about to look up. I'm about to say, don't prove. Who should we obey? God, brother. Oh, okay, God or man? All right. So basically, going back into how He made us different, and we're not the same, contrary to popular belief. Ecclesiasticus 33:12. Some, all right, in much knowledge, the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. It's talking about the different nations of man. It's talking about the different nationalities of man. Judah is different than Esau. Esau is different than Elam. Elam is different than just who the hell ever, man. Okay? We're not the same, clearly. Just like all dogs are not the same. We're different breeds. And everybody is humans except for one group of people, man. The word hue goes into color. The word man goes into a man. Everybody is a colored man except for one group of people. You figured it out. I'm not going to tell you that answer because it's so simple, man. If you can look through somebody's skin and just see the color red, that should let you know, man. And I'm going to tell you something I saw on TV today. And it goes to show you that the devil is going to be exposed for what he and she is. What he is. She devil ain't got no power. She devil will bring forth an Israelite, man. So the devil is going to be exposed for what he is. Over there in Britain, they are talking about blocking the sun or blocking the intensity of the sun. The sun doesn't do nothing but kiss me and make me healthy. And everybody and every other man in the world. It's full of vitamins. You can't grow fruit and vegetables without it, or plants. But it's one group of people that's ruling the world that is killing because the sun is natural and it's in its natural order and the sun hasn't gone off like we did. And it's doing its job. The sun is doing to the so-called white man what medicines do to viruses and bacteria. It's doing it at a slow pace. And the so-called white man knows it. And that's why years ago he started selling sunscreen. They can't go out and have a good time. They're cavemen. They're cave animals. They belong in Antarctica somewhere, man. They like it when it's freezing cold. They go swimming in freezing cold. So-called white man, they go jump in a freezing cold pool in the middle of the winter and enjoy himself. And if I do it, I die from hypothermia. But on a regular day like this, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. All the animals are out. The wind smells good. You can smell the fragrance of the plants. The grass feels good. The sun hitting your skin feels good. These natural and normal conditions are things that he can't stand and or tolerate. Now, they're doing this over there in Britain. And Britain is not too much different than Washington, D.C. Out of 360 days, 65 days, you don't have too many bright days anyway. So you complaining from a geographical area where the sun is already naturally dimmed. And it's too much for you. We are not the same. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not. Let's keep on teaching. Verse 12 is talking about the nations, y'all. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. Well, that's talking about our people. The so-called black man, the so-called Native and Hispanic man. But some of them he have cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. The so-called white man. We are not the same. We are polar opposites. for you to force us and to bring us into your government and your rulership and to educate our children by force, under duress, and teach them that we all the same. Boy, you got a lot to answer for. Our people are so fucked up and are so far gone that they don't even know that we have a shared history. All they see when they look at me, or when they look at somebody that look like me, is a fellow American. A lot of our people have lost touch of who we are and where we come from, and they don't understand, and they don't have empathy toward that plight anymore because they're wearing another flag. In the scriptures, you have Israelites that took on other flags and they proclaimed it. And sarcastically, the Lord accepted it. Like that Sumerian woman. She said she was a Sumerian, so the Lord said, fuck it, you're a Sumerian. But that was actually an Israelite. Cornelius, an Israelite. Okay? When you go to Acts, what's that, the 2nd chapter, I want to say? These are all Israelites. Okay? So we're set near it. Matter of fact, let me get the scripture, that scripture right quick. Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power, and the Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now this is racism at its finest, y'all. The scripture says it's a group of people that have genetics, mental and spiritual superiority over everybody else. Now let me get you another scripture to show you that that's not going to change and it can't change. What scripture that is? G? Let me see. I ain't bring it out in a minute. I know the scripture though. Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. He's telling you, you're the same person, and you're the same group of people, and I feel the same way about you that I did in Genesis. In Genesis, okay, the way I felt about you then, I still feel that way about you in Revelation. How about that? But the ones of you that reject me, you're going to have the same fate and the same judgment as the other nations who I hate and who I have made to be vessels of dishonor. And just basically, he just don't like them, bro. Let me get another scripture. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture that hold on. Now, I just showed you the scripture where he said, some of you have I exalted and set near to me. I just gave you that precept. And it says others, he basically cursed and he don't like. Let me give you the precept to that one too. Let me tell you something, bro. Right here, right now, we hate everybody except for the elect. Okay? But the only group of people collectively that the Lord hated and hates is the so-called white man. So-called East Indians, so-called Japanese, so-called Chinese, so-called Arabs, they're going to be punished. But the Lord doesn't hate them, bruh. I'm not gonna say he loves them. It's just like a dog or something. You know, he doesn't hate them because it's not in the scriptures. They're gonna have to serve 1,000-year bid for putting their nose up Esau's ass and following him. But I can't find the scriptures. I can't find it in the scripture where it says he hates them with an everlasting hate. After the 1,000 years over with, they're gonna be able to go back to their land and get them a little half of a fair shake, man. Really a fair shake. Let's get the scripture, bro. The bell rung at exactly 1:44. Why did the bell ring at exactly 1:44? I'm sure I don't know. Only reason I know it's 1:44 because when I heard that bell, I assumed that it was at the top of the hour. But everything is spiritual, bro. It's spiritual, bro. Okay? Now, what scripture was I about to get? I know what I was about to get. Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Now you see how the scripture doesn't fall in on the scripture. Only thing it knows how to do is back itself up. It says some of them he exalted and set near to him. And some of them he didn't deal with. And we was able to go to both of those precepts. No confusion, no chaos, no arguing, no nothing. The Bible is our constitution. If you don't know something, you look into it, and if you don't have the wherewithal to look into it, you ask somebody that does, man. We don't have to amend our scriptures, man. Our scriptures are the same as they was yesterday. We don't have to amend anything because it's perfect, and it's life, and it's a life giver. We fucked up. "44 minutes in, too. Revelation 2:26, man. Verse 20, we're going to start at 25. But that which ye already have, hold fast till I come. Hold on to this doctrine of truth. Hold on to this doctrine of life. Hold on to this doctrine that elder apostles to her on down is teaching, this great millstone doctrine, man. Hold on to it. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. The Lord is going to reward us with dominion. He's going to reward us with power. He's going to reward us with the ability to avenge and revenge the things that happen to us, man. He's going to lead the charge, though. Nobody is saved right now. The things that we can do right now as the hopeful elect is to follow the scriptures, follow the Bible, and back it up. If you see some off shit going on, you speak on it. You see some off shit consistently going on that somebody is teaching, you correct it. Your spirit pick up some things and the Lord put it on you to say, you go there and do it. But at the end of the day, the same struggle that you're going through, another brother is going through it, and it's just different views from different buildings. As long as y'all land on that same what? Doctrine. It's truth, man. It's truth. The scripture says a spiritual man judge of everything, but yet he himself is judge of nothing or nobody. And I'm paraphrasing, man. Keep on teaching. Keep on learning. Allow the Lord to swell your breast up with knowledge, man. And at the end of the day, everything gonna work out. He gonna do the rest. You just do what he asks you to do. Study, learn, teach, be a brother, and repeat. Wait on the Lord, man. With that, I hope this was edifying to somebody, and I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakwakwadash. Devil honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone who rule to teach what unto the other Aki mighty push to the truth to the four ways. Keep pushing, Aki Kwam Yashirala, Abal Babal. Until next time, Aki.